What's good, everybody? This is CreamSpinachYo, and I'm bringing you episode 3 of Math, Science, and Modern Warfare 3. In the last two episodes of the series, we talked about ideas in physics, and now we're going to move on to math, which is going to be awesome, and I'm going to kind of show you something, one of my favorite ideas in math, and it's called mathematical induction. And just as a preface for this, you can think of mathematical induction like showing that if you have a ladder, right? For example, if you have a ladder and you can show that the first rung of that ladder is there, then you can then show that there are infinitely many rungs of that ladder there. And the caveat to this is that this only works in the set of natural numbers. And if you don't know what natural numbers are the set of counting numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. There are no negative numbers in the set of the natural numbers. And so I'm going to show you an example of a really cool mathematical induction problem that I like, and then at the end, if you really want to try some out for yourself, I have a couple of questions I made up that work, that I've tested and they work, and you can try it for yourself and it'd be pretty cool. Now, the idea behind induction is that we need to show that the first rung of that ladder is there. And we call this in the math world as the base case. And then when we show that the base case holds, we can then show that we can plug in the base case plus 1, and we can show that that will hold. And so you can keep moving, you can imagine moving that chain along and getting everything. And so the problem I have for you today is that for each natural number n, with n greater than or equal to 4, n factorial is bigger than 2 to the n. And so we're going to use mathematical induction to prove that this holds. And so we start with the base case. We have that we need to show that if we plug in 4, which is the first number in this problem, then we need to show that that holds. So if we have 4, you can clearly see that 4 factorial equals 24, and 2 to the 4th equals 16. And so clearly 4 factorial is bigger than 2 to the 4th. And so the base case is true. Now we need to apply induction to the problem. So we need to instead of using n, we let k be our variable, and then we need to show that when k is true, then pk plus 1 is true. And so what we have here is, so we assume that k factorial is greater than 2k. Again, this is the same thing as the other problem, except we're applying induction on here. And so we need to show that k plus 1 holds for the situation. So we plug in k plus 1 for k, and we get k plus 1, the quantity factorial, is greater than 2 to the k plus 1. And so we multiply both sides of this inequality by our original assumption of k. So we multiply it by k factorial greater than 2k, and then we get the quantity k plus 1 times k factorial is greater than the quantity k plus 1 times 2 to the k. And since k plus 1 times k factorial is the same thing as k plus 1 factorial, because k plus 1 factorial would be k plus 1 times k, so we combine that into k plus 1, that quantity factorial, greater than the quantity k plus 1 times 2k. And so now, since in the base case we proved that 4 was our beginning number, so now we know that k has to be greater than or equal to 4. And so we know for a fact that k plus 1 has to be greater than 2. And so we have the quantity k plus 1 times 2 to the k is greater than 2 times 2 to the k. And so we condense that, and we see that the quantity k plus 1 is greater than 2 to the k, or times 2 to the k is greater than 2 to the k plus 1. And so by applying the inequalities we have before, the k plus 1 quantity factorial is greater than the quantity k plus 1 times 2 to the k, we can clearly see that the quantity k plus 1 factorial is greater than 2 to the k plus 1. So via induction, we know that this is true. We know that this will hold. And so you can do this for lots of other problems. Not all of them will work. You have to kind of figure out what it's going to converge to beforehand. But what you can do is it's the same general idea for induction, provided that you are in the natural numbers. you can then apply induction. All you have to do is you have to show that the first element in the problem holds. So you apply, in this case it was 4, you apply that to the first problem, the first kind of the base case, right? The lower rung of the ladder. And then by continuing to plug in k, or that number plus 1, you can then use a lot of algebra and you can figure out that, hey, this will hold. And so that's induction for you. I think it's pretty cool. I'm sorry I can't really explain it. I'm doing math in my head while I'm recording the commentary, so you can understand that. But the problems I have for you don't require a lot of mathematical know-how. So the first example, which is showing right now, this does not require a lot of mathematical know-how. It's quite easy. The second example, which I'm showing you here, is a little more complicated, but I'm sure you can do it. And the third example is kind of the, if you can do this, you can solve a lot of mathematical induction problems. So that's episode 3 about mathematical induction. Thanks for watching. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at CreamSpinachYo. And don't worry, we will have the Halo co-op playthroughs coming around really soon. The dual live commentary between Gendothermic and I, so that'll be really fun. And I hope you have a great day.